a mask sculpture covered in goo. This is the 999 ASMR Tarot Craft Night. I am your guide, Random Guy. I'll be guiding you in on this journey tonight into boredom, into sleep. Sleep. That is the purpose of this presentation. I'm signaling this to the algorithm. If you're watching it on a playback, please feel free to increase the speed. So we're going to first cover this in saran wrap. Clear plastic wrap. It's a good first step. I guess I'm going to need some tape. Right? Tape? Tape to make this work? I took the liberty of pre-soaking some of the paper out because one of the sculptures I'm working on is starting to look like Frankenstein. If you ever seen Young Frankenstein before with Mel Brooks. Classic movie. Funniest thing ever. Well, it's not the funniest thing ever, but it is pretty good. It was done all in black and white. Frankenstein. You did. You got some of the best lines ever. It's alive! It's alive! Well, anyways. That's what I like about this. The macabre. This has such elements of the macabre. A funnery mask, maybe? Hopefully. I'll get some spectators tonight. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds in, and I am all alone. I'm all alone here tonight. Oh, maybe the first person has showed up to watch the spectacle of goo. I need to coat the mask, the mold in this plastic so that the paper mache doesn't stick to it. And so we're going to start here right now before people find out nothing is happening. I need to get this glove on. Can I get, how would I, oh, the glove, it broke. Now I'm going to get goo on my hands. Goo. Oh, blessed goo. The goo is for you to see. Look at that. It's goo. We'll just put some of this right here. The goo. Blessed goo. Maybe a spoonful of goo for you. Goo, goo, goo. Anyways, let's get putting more stuff on here. People are waiting to see what happened with the goo. Doesn't that look yummy? Oh, I forgot I was going to put something down on the counter first so it wouldn't get all over the table like that. Maybe some strips of newspaper, Some newspaper, maybe? The news, you can even read the news while you are laying it down. Welcome, POOP. This is GOO. It's GOO. That's what it is. It is just a thing of goo. And we use the goo to... No, this is glue. This is goo. Goo. And goo is made out of flour and water. It dries. This is for making paper sculptures. I'm making a paper sculpture tonight. Well, hello, Chloe the Destroyer. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the GOO Review, the new GOO channel. I am Random Guy. I'm just some random guy on YouTube playing with GOO tonight. Cutting up paper. And hopefully it is exciting enough to put somebody to sleep later if you watch it on the replay. Sometimes I go back and see, and then it just puts me to sleep really fast. What's happening here is we are doing this. We're doing this here. And it is a texture. Texturally, it's a texture thing. And we'll put some goo down. Actually, you can eat the goo. It is, the goo is all-purpose flour mixed with water. You could fry it up in oil and make a very simple fry bread with it. Or if you can add an egg to it and then you got pancake batter. If you add some yeast to it and some sugar, you can make bread. So it is, the mask is toxic, but yeah, that's what it is. It's exactly that. It's completely edible. This is something you can do. You can do in your home, and you can make paper. It's called paper mache. This is simple paper mache paste. And so, for instance, last night I made this. This is a paper mache head. And I'm still working on it. I was going to put some electrodes on the side so it makes it like it's Frankenstein. That's what I was thinking it was. And then we'll just take this thing out here. Stick it down. You want to just put enough layers onto it so that this is going to be a face sculpture. A face sculpture. That's what this is going to be. I am going to get a base coat down, several coats of this paper and goo down, and then I'm going to start. I'm going to start giving it some shape and some form. That's what I'll be doing. kind of come down here and work on down here. So we'll put up a little bit more up on the top, and then I'm going to put a nice solid layer down. So are you guys having a nice summer right now? Is it cold or warm where you're at? So it's not cold where you're at, or it's hot? It's hot. It's cool where I'm at. Of course, it's midnight now. So it's 3 a.m. where you're at. I am, so you must be on the East Coast. It is 12 midnight where I'm at. So what I'm going to do next is, it's going to look gross, but we're going to add a layer of paper towel down, and this will give the whole thing a bunch of structure. And I want to give it, it'll soak in the goo, and it gives it some structure. So it'll get that more of that cement-like feel. And then once I get a good layer of structure in here, then I can start forming a oh, you're in Alaska. Oh, it's -3 where you're at. Oh, I see. It's not 3 a.m. So it's in Alaska. It is 11. You're at like 11 something p.m. right now, because I'm on the Pacific coast in Oregon, and so it is. But part of you is on Pacific time, and we're going to do a little bit more of this stuff to get a bit more structure in here. When I think of Alaska, I think of that show Alone, and I think of Roland, who won the $1 Million Challenge a few years ago, building the rock house. And then we will put a little of this over here and this over here. Using the paper towel is probably something they didn't teach you about in grade school when you did paper mache. Though I don't remember doing paper mache in grade school. I must have, but I don't remember doing it. I don't remember doing it in high school art class either. And I took high school art class for 2 years. I remember doing pottery, making pottery sculptures, but not paper mache. So we're going to get this stuff soaked in here really good. And I'm going to go back into doing some newsprint. Now I want to do kind of a lattice here. So to weave the paper in. Take some of it like this, weave it in. Just to give it more structure, more strength. And then doing some more weaving, weaving the tapestry of night and day. Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. Oh, Chloe the Destroyer, welcome back. We're kind of making good time with this. So where are you from, Chloe? Is it like really, really late in the at night or early in the morning for you, or is it just on the cusp of midnight? This is good. Well, did you make paper mache in grade school? In art class? Okay, it's late. So you like on like the East Coast, or not that you don't have to say specifically. You can give it the your time zone. Time zone, go by time zone. So it's getting late here. I'm on the Pacific coast, so I'm on Pacific time. So for me, it is midnight. It's just almost 12 midnight where I'm at. And yep, 12 o'clock midnight. I'm using a newspaper that came from Seattle like 10 years ago. It's nice and quiet here. Not even coyotes or anything out. But there is like some geese. Not too far from where I'm at, there's a whole, like 100 geese that are staying for the night in the hotel of the valley. Stay for the night, and then they leave in the morning. And who knows where they go. I think they're going north. I think that's where they're going, is north. But I haven't really seen them leave. I just seen that they come. No, yeah, that's right. They're coming from the south, and they're going to the north. One of the things that's really fun, Chloe the Destroyer and the Alaska guy is to do this stuff stream of consciousness, not really think exactly about what you're doing and not have a real plan, because when you do it this way, you'll always be surprised when you're done about with what you come up with. And so it's kind of like, you sit down with your journal and you say, well, I do this. I haven't done it much anymore. You say, what am I feeling? What am I feeling right now? What am I feeling? Because I oftentimes don't have the faintest clue as to what I'm feeling. But that's because I'm a dumb man. That's why that is. Men often don't have the faintest clue about what they're feeling. And so when I was in my younger years, I would sit down. I would go sit down in a quiet place, like St. James Cathedral in Seattle, and sit down in the quiet and ask the question, "What am I feeling?" And then I sit there with the pen. And then pretty soon, sometimes, I would automatically start writing stuff, and it was like, who knew that I was feeling that? And so let's go put some of this construction paper into it and give it some differing colors. This paper is just a little thicker. And then I'm going to start making the sculptures. Just a little bit more of this. And I like leaving some of the print on it because you get this randomness of it that's there. I think we're in the doldrums right now. The doldrums, the summer doldrums. It's kind of like a chin strap here, using this to. But before I started, I did put cellophane down, or not cellophane, saran wrap, plastic wrap down, just to, so I can get this thing off the mold tomorrow. I'm gonna put this band around it here, and maybe some of this orange. Yeah. Orange. One of my friends, she's much older than me, she does her paper mache all with colored paper. But she's a much more advanced artist than I am. Of course, she's older than I am too, so that stands to reason, right? You're more advanced of an artist if you're older. So let's see. I think that we should have enough layers down in here. And where are the ears at? The ears are here. So let's do just some squares and so forth. And thank you for liking, and if you have subscribed to my channel, that would be great too. I'm, trying to do the YouTube thing. And oh, good. I'm very happy that you did, and thank you very much. So I'm gonna make this nose build up the nose a bit. So, yeah, thank you very much. We're going to work on building up the nose. Big black nose. This is a kind of a thicker construction paper. A little bit porous there. And so what I got in here is I pre-soaked some paper out, and maybe we can use this to make things like some structures. Structures on the face. Well, I might need some goo in order to get that stuff to stick. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is, not today, but after I take this thing off the mold. You love my lives? Oh, thank you, Sheila. Thank you. So yeah, thank you. And welcome. Yeah, I hope that they're entertaining. I'm really working hard to make them entertaining, and also to be in this textural realm of visual textures, and often I try to, and I'll working on trying to. So have you seen some of my? So I'm relaxing and entertaining, and so have you seen my painting ones then? I was going to do an outdoor painting thing today, this afternoon, but I woke up with a sore throat, so that didn't happen. And I seem to feel fine now. I'm just a little tired, which is probably why I'm not as entertaining as I could be. But, there seems to be a summer cold or something like that going around. Okay, let's see. What can I do here? So, do you think, okay, thank you, Chloe, the Destroyer, and thank you for popping in. You might check out some of my long play videos. I have, if you like listening to frog song, I have a 15 minutes or so of just frogs singing. I also have one that I did in the last part of March, where it was a walk in the snow, and then the sounds and things that I heard while I was on my walk in the snow, and that was the last snow of this year. I got like 3 or 4 other ones that I'm in the process of building. Yeah, and then I also have some actual tarot ones too. The one with the crystal ball, I have a crystal ball or glass ball. You might like that one. And it has some of the free YouTube music on there that I've used. And then that one is that those are good. And Then I have one where I'm walking my dog, uh, walking my little dog. It's a little tiny Chihuahua, long hair, just a little precious little doggy. And although those ones are probably not as good as these ones are, but you know, anyways, thank you very much for being here with me. I think your lives make me feel like I'm actually. Oh yeah. Well, thank you very much about that. Because I feel like I'm actually hanging out with you guys as well. You know, I live in a very rural area, and um, so like there are places nearby, but for the most part, I'm. Oh, so you anxious? I have an anxiety disorder too. I in our world is there's so much trouble going on in our world today, and I really appreciate that. It's I doing art is a way to it is a way to calm yourself down. I see you're disabled and you're stuck in your house. I get it. Yeah. I take care of my mom, and she's in her mid 80s, and I don't really get out much, and people when they're older, they're a lot more immune compromised, and so yeah, I get that. It's really hard when you're kind of shut in your house. So this stuff will dry up, and make some lips on it. It's got a real long face. This mask it's the real long face mask. Yeah, yeah. Well, I got some red in here. Maybe we will add some. Get this red as it gets all chewed up like that. Well, that's yeah. It's hard. Life is hard. Oh yeah, I do. I really. You see, this is doing art is my passion, and so um, I pre-soaked some of this stuff from. Oh, I don't want to squeeze it in there. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad that it has a genuine feel because, you know, I like I like performance art, and I started doing performance art when I was like in seventh grade. In seventh grade, I doing theater, and dance. Actually, I did performance dance as well. It wasn't my choice to do performance dance. It was just that my sister was a dancer, and she was older, and they would say, "Oh, we need some boys. We need some boys." And so I got roped into doing. I don't feel like I had a choice, but I got roped into doing um, performance dance when I was like 12, 13 years of age, simply because um, they needed boys. And my sister says, "Oh, I know where we can get boys." She was a bit older. And that's how one of the ways. Like, but then I also had another friend who was my dungeon master, and he got me involved into doing theater. They needed more bodies. He was older, um, so he was like, when I was in 8th grade, he was a senior in high school, but he just lived down the street, and um, down the street from where I lived. I might need to fix some actual glue. Yeah, it couldn't hold a note to save his life, but he loved singing. I love watching him to be so happy. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing is, when you do that stuff that, when you do this stuff that like that, it makes you feel a part of the universe. When you create, and it makes you feel like you're part of the universe, or the because our universe is just so highly creative, you know. I'm gonna get this all mushed up here because I want to make a make something. And so yeah, and during that creative process of um, the creative process of doing those things that make you happy, it yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the colors that exist, or all the colors that you can just really make from like the primaries, and just out in nature. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking about painting some rocks. Would that be something that'd be interesting? I'm going to mush this together, make a pulp out of it, and try to get it. I think it needs to add more glue to it, and it's really wet. This stuff is really wet, so it may not stick. So we just got to get it to hold it in place long enough, and then for it to stay, and then so if it stays, and then by tomorrow it should be more. Have you seen the rock Mandela lady that um no, I didn't see that. I hadn't seen that one. That she made mandalas out of rocks. Hmm. I'm not so sure this is going to work. I've done other things with mushing the paper together. I made a there we go. Maybe that'll work. I'm just going to have to leave it on here. Her family took up her page and to help it live on. Oh, that's very nice of them. I kind of oftentimes worry about, you know, because I got so much art, and stuff that I've made through the years, and I have way more writing. I have a lot more writing than I have anything else. And I'm gonna squeeze this out here and throw it in there. Yeah. Yeah, let's get this stuff really mushed down. Kind of like I was a cow chewing its cud. But we're just gonna put that aside for now. And I thought I might have time to do two things, but I definitely am not gonna have time to do two things. Kind of put that up there. Yeah. It's got the long forehead. Yeah, let's see. What else is it gonna look like? No, I don't know what it's gonna look like. I kind of want to do this thing looks accomplished for one night. Yeah, you know, yeah, I'm just gonna do one thing tonight. I have enough stuff I could start a new project, but you know what? I will probably come back to doing a come back on Friday night and do something. I have a family reunion on Sunday, so I'm not going to be doing my Saturday night live. Not when I got to get up early the next day and go drive 100 miles. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Last year it was canceled because of COVID, because it got right up to like just a couple days before, and then the host of the family reunion had the COVID, and they canceled the whole thing. It's too bad. And then, like just a couple days ago, one of my first cousins, he had kidney stones removed, and I think if I could yeah, let's see if we can do that. If we can take, yeah. All right, now I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to see if I can get this to wrap this ear up on it so it stays on here. There we go. That might work. That might work. And then we'll put another ear on it. What I was thinking about doing, Sheila, was to put a stick in on the bottom side, rather than having like, you know, having an elastic band that holds this up to your face or something like that, but instead to have a stick. So you know, like when you see like movies for like ballroom dancers and people going to a ball like from like 100 years ago or more. They had the mask and it was on like on a little stick and they held it up to their face. That's kind of what I was like thinking that I wanted to do with this mask. And so that's kind of, and so I have to, but I don't have one of those like a dowel, but I do will go off. I think I'll just use something from nature and take a stick off the apple tree out back, like the happy and sad face that yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I'll have to punch some holes in here for eyes, but I'll do that after I take this thing off of the mold. And then I'll see if I'm going to paint this thing or if the face people used to do, yes. And so then what I'll see about doing is if I'll see about, I lost my train of thought. I did that whole old person thing. But I'm not that old yet. Yeah. And okay, I'm gonna start in advance by taking some of this this is really soupy. I'm gonna take some of this and we're gonna put it down here. And I'm gonna fix that. Okay, yeah, I just turned 56 a few months ago. And so yeah, I got 10 years on you. And so we have the other ear over here. I'm gonna get that. I might add some glue to it. Kind of get that in there. Work that glue in there a bit. Fix it in there. And then move that up here. Yeah. Well, you know, when I was younger, so the ADHD makes your brain skip like a record sometimes. Yeah, I have this thing called audio processing disorder, and so it's all compensated for by now, but there's still a lot of things that it affects me. So I have a lot of things in common with folks with autism. And so like, you know, I still can't hear in a real noisy environment, and people who speak in monotone voices, I have a hard time hearing that too. So this is kind of not very smooth. It's not a very smooth thing, but maybe we will just add, no, I think I want to add to this with some newspaper. Well, hello, Thomas. Welcome. I'm kind of just taking my time. I'm just doing one thing here. I'm doing a face sculpture, and I was telling so you forgot what you were doing or saying because your brain thinks too fast. Yeah, I get you. My sister has that too, but she has MS um and but she technically could go on disability, but um she owns her own. She owns a company, and she would get super bored. Um, so, and I think my dad was ADHD as well. And here we go. I needed to stand up and take a look at this and see what I'm doing. Yeah. Huh. Looks like a robot head with the big giant ears here, like some kind of a cyborg thing. Hmm. So you're very bored, but you get tired so fast. Hmm. Yeah. You support the flannel. Thank you. I'm wearing like a flannel shirt on too, kind of. So Thomas, you need to keep on drawing and stuff like that. And one of the things, Thomas, that you might consider doing is, do you use an Android or do you use like an iPhone phone to produce your channel? So Thomas, if you use, it doesn't really matter, if you use one of those two devices to build your, you have a whole entire collection of flannels. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. So Thomas, I made an entire head recently, and I'm still working on the entire head. I might do one like an Android. So what you could do, Thomas, is download the YouTube Create app and then use it for doing just a little bit of video editing on your shorts. And what I often do when I when I build shorts is that I turn the speed up. I turn the speed up so it increases the pace when I'm talking. Now, sometimes when I'm just building, if I'm building a short in the YouTube in the short program, then I don't not doing that. But if I build it in like a third party piece of software, I oftentimes will for for lots of things, just to work on the pacing, and so it's something I'm always aware of when I do a video work or anything like that, is to making sure that um, things have a right are paced right, and so that's something that you will get a feel for as you learn how to create videos. Now, when you do your gaming ones, I mean, the all that's all done for you. But you could do, like, for instance, like right now in the valley, there are 100 geese asleep, and so the geese are migrating, and they stop by in the valley here, and I feel like I need to have some kind of a structure right in the middle of the forehead. Not like a horn or anything. I was just thinking like a one of those things like that signifies like a jewel or something. Some kind of a structure on the forehead. I don't want it to be maybe like that. You can always take it off. Now, let's see if there's something I can do. I wonder if I have any of that tissue paper. I think I should have some tissue paper here. Or I might be able to put some hair on this creature here. Feels like it needs some hair. This is two of an Irish drinking song, Valio. Yeah. Well, I live in a little valley, and the valley, for the next time, I live in a little valley that it's pretty narrow, and so the sun sets a good 2 hours before it sets down at the coast, and then in the wintertime, the sun sets like you still get daylight, still get the, it's still light and so forth, but the sun sets in the valley a good 2 hours before it sets on the ocean. And I don't have any I have construction paper, but I don't have the other paper that I was looking for. It's probably here. I just have this this big sack of stuff. I don't know, maybe make some shapes like this. And trying to make some hair. Okay, boy down in the valley, oh. That's the song, huh? So do you sing in your church choir? Yeah. I used to sing in a church choir. It was a lot of fun. I sang in a I guess I sang in a Black Catholic gospel choir. For almost a decade when I was living up in Seattle. It's this time of my life. I like gospel music, and and a Catholic church that had gospel music. I mean, when I first heard that, it was just so amazing. Your brain makes missing things. You don't do church, but you sing. Yeah. Yeah, well, my mom I grew up as a Lutheran, and then I became a Catholic, but I haven't really practiced for, since before the pandemic, and you don't sing in your church choir, but, oh, well, that's too bad. But maybe in the future, you can, when you go to college, or if you go to college or something like that, you can live in a bigger area. Mary watching Jesus on the cross. Yeah, I probably have one of those. My favorite is my favorite all-time favorite is the Salve Regina, and done in Latin, and I liked, but none of the parishes around here do Latin, and they'll do like English translations, and the English translation is just the richer language it has makes those songs, hymns, or whatever you want to call them, just come to life when they're done in a richer language. And where I'm at, there is, and where I live, there is no. Okay, no one knows because it's an unknown artist. Mary watching Jesus on the cross. Yeah. Wood. One other thing I really miss is Taizé services, and unknown artists. I need to. What are we doing now? I want another color, but I want it. Not the purple. Well, I think this blue is too. Well, maybe this blue is not too thick. Maybe the blue isn't too thick. So I got kind of some purple and some blue hair. Maybe after I take my gloves off, I'll pull my missal out. I don't even know what church you're in anymore, because I'm really out of touch. Gets me thinking. Yeah. This is this whole thing of doing art stream of consciousness. Hopefully this stuff will stick. No. Is that like a battle song, Thomas? Or is it a like an old gospel hymn? If it's like an old gospel hymn, I probably have heard it before. So I hope that this will stick on here. Maybe I need to add some glue onto it as well. I want to be in the Calvary, huh? Maybe it's kind of like a crown of, well, no, it's just hair. It's got, this is a mask with hair. I think I might add some glue onto it. Maybe how many of these things are just not going to work? All right. Make sure that, do I have that stuff on? I gotta see. I gotta look here. I gotta make sure I didn't like make a major mistake here. So we're looking at the back side. I have this. Okay, that's not that. And that's sucked over that way. Okay, I think that I'll be fine here. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna work. Great. So then if we do, yeah, keep it just like that. Oh, no, better not push too far. So it's like a Civil War. Okay, that's. There we go. Out in the middle of the country. Huh. Looks cool. It's like, I guess, got a haircut going on. And with that silk up in there and stay like that. That's not bad. And I don't know what that is, but it's okay. Don't have to know what it is. Kind of like a little diamond on third eye kind of a thing, diamond sign. Well, it's kind of like a robot. And then maybe we'll, yeah. Well, I think that I'm going to put this aside, and I don't think I need to do any more on it. Okay, on the floor it goes. And this is the whole head that I've done. And I wanted to put like electrodes on the side because this thing really reminds me of, it's got a balloon in there. I built it around a balloon. And I wanted to make some, I have this paper that I smashed up, and I wanted to make make put that up here. Make like electrodes. All right, I'm gonna try this build up stuff. This may be a complete failure here. Just a little bit of paper mache goo left. So Thomas, were you on? Did you come on one of my very first paper mache streams? It seemed like you were one of the people on my very first paper mache stream. I have to move this stuff out of the way. Oh, I see. Well, I had that problem the other night because I was having it was last night. Yeah, I was getting Christmas songs in my head. I got a Christmas song stuck in my head. But that's because it's time for me to start making Christmas cards. Maybe we'll use. No, I don't want that. I need to. Okay, we'll just use some of this paper. Use some of this paper again. Yeah, you were on my very first paper mache video. I remember that. That was like a month ago. Maybe it was in June. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm trying. I think that this is kind of like we'll just toss this stuff in here. Mix it up good. We'll move it aside here. Okay. You were, yeah. Well. Kind of make like electrodes. That's kind of what I was thinking, that this thing is like a Frankenstein head. And if I can get like the Wi-Fi field extended further outside the house, then I might do a live with my BB gun. I have like a CO2 powered varmint a BB gun that's like that. That might work. Kind of like a electrode. Make one of those. Yeah. All right, I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to make another one. This stuff's sloppier. Hmm. All right. So I guess we did get to do work on 2 things tonight. And what time is it? Yeah, I did. I saw that. I won. I was one of your. I'm one of your 20. I've seen some of your, like a few of your drawings ones, and yeah, if you do the drawings on the unlined paper, it looks a whole lot better. But sometimes that's all you have is the lined paper, and I get that. We work with what we have, not with what you don't have. So now you're at 24. Well, that's totally awesome. Good job. Good job. Yeah, soon you're going to be at like 100. All right. Let's just take some of this stuff right off the table. I don't really need to have this on my table here. All right. So now, well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I know it kind of looks like horns, but it's not horns. I mean, this is my maybe we'll put some glue on the outside here. Kind of stick it on here. I don't know if that's going to stay. It's going to slide down. I can just tell right now. Kind of hold that in place. It's kind of like an electrode. Because this is my Frankenstein. So did you ever see the movie Young Frankenstein, Thomas? With Mel Brooks? If you haven't seen that film, you really should watch that one. That's like, I'm assuming that your folks are about my age, and so, yeah. You know, I think that you could probably get there. You'll get there before, in a couple months, and you might even get there by the end of the summer. You know, because when I first started this channel, I was at 19 subscribers for almost like the first 6 months, and then I started doing shorts. And then short form, yeah, it's from like it's in black and white. They could have done it in color, but they did it in black and white because they oh no, it fell off. My electrode fell off. Yeah. Yeah, you just keep working at it, and one of the things you might consider doing is learning. Now you could try CapCut, but there's some free editing software that YouTube has created, and I would urge you to learn how to I urge you to learn some editing, how to operate some editing software. So like CapCut, or which is the TikTok, which is CapCut's pretty advanced, but the YouTube YouTube Create has it has some editing software too. I use them both. I use both. Oh, it fell off again. It's not going to work, is it, Thomas? It's just not going to work. My Frankenstein is falling apart. Maybe I can prop it up with this stuff here. Maybe it'll prop up with that. But this other one's going to fall off soon. What am I going to prop that one up with? This jar, maybe? Maybe that'll work. Okay, all right, well. So, I have things complete. Things to work on. This is an animal that I'm going to work on. Some kind of a creature that I'm going to work on eventually. Of course, you couldn't really see that. And then I had found this in my stuff. And you know what this is, Thomas? Yeah, the Scotch tape. But this stuff here, Thomas, is so wet that I don't think that I can get Scotch tape to make it stick to it. But if I just let it sit for like an hour, like I have it propped there. So do you recognize this scene, Thomas? Okay, what this is, Thomas, is this is a an icon image of the death of Mary, and this is it's in the Christian tradition, but more in like the Orthodox, the Eastern Church. And so if you were ever to go up into the Holy Lands, there is a chapel that is attributed to this event where when Mary died and that her son Jesus came and took her soul up into heaven. And that's what this image is. And these are like apostles and people standing around. So if you've been into an Orthodox church, like a Russian or Greek Orthodox church, then you would have seen it there. And if you've ever gone to a Catholic monastery or anything like that, then you would have seen it there as well. Especially like certain Catholic churches, like maybe like the Assumption of Mary, or it would be like something like that. But that's where that image comes from. And so the Catholic Church didn't start really adopting icons until much later. And of course the Protestant Church threw all that stuff away. But you know what the history about icons and things like that is that icons goes back to the era before the printing press. And so the Protestant Church was born out of the printing press. It was so in the 1400s is when we had the printing press, and that was when the first Bible was printed. That was the first book that was ever printed, was the Bible. And the Protestant Revolution, yeah, that's what it is. I knew they'd seen that somewhere. So the Protestant church was born out of the revolution of the printing press. And so, and then that's also the time when people started learning how to read. When printed material was available, then people started to learn how to read. But prior to that time, only the very, very few and the very elite peoples in our world knew how to read and write. And so during that time, to tell the story of Jesus, they used images to tell those stories. And so having like this is the I think that I can't remember the name, Pantocrator or something like that, what its name is, and the Madonna of, and so these images like this is how the story of Jesus was told, and was through images. And then there's also another thing, Thomas, that's really very fascinating, is that if you ever get a chance to go to Europe and to go into one of those old cathedrals, make sure that if you do that, because those old cathedrals themselves were designed to tell the story of Jesus, the whole building, the whole layout. And so you will notice that these they're kind of laid out in the shape of a cross, and they'll have like little nooks and crannies all through there, and in each of those little nooks and crannies and little shrines and whatnot is all about telling the story of Jesus and what that means to the world. And so there's a little history, just in case you'd never heard that before. But that's stuff that I learned a long time ago when I was studying theology at George Fox University. Anyways, that's all I have. It is it's getting close to 2 a.m. And so I'm going to call it a night, Thomas. And thank you very much for journeying here with me tonight. And for Chloe, thank you. And oh yeah, that's right. I had another little sign that I was on my soapbox for a while. And so I'm getting off my random guy soapbox for right now until the next time. And I'm gonna end this stream here, and good night, Thomas. And I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day tomorrow and the rest of the week. Thank you very much for being here with me. Thank you, Chloe, and thank you, Ayla, I think it was Chloe, and everybody else for being here tonight and cluing into this stream. And so I'm going to call it a night, and good night. Yeah, man, it's been great talking to you too. And for some reason, it was good for me to remember my history. All right, good night. Bye-bye, and have a great week. And thank you very much for being here.